All right, so 21-day fix. How to calculate mixed foods, right? So I get a lot of this messages and emails and text messages. How do I count this food? How do I do this? Like, where does this fall? Um, it's the most often question that I get for 21-day fix challengers. So they're so hungry for success and that they want to do everything right and nail this container counts down to the last little bit crumb. They want to make sure that they're doing their workouts in the proper order and drinking Shakeology and so on and so on. So in an ideal world, right, 21-day fix world, how would you measure your food to be clear cut and they have some of the best recipes, right, with all the ingredients? They're healthy, they contain fixed approved foods, and they seem impossible to know how to count. So I will tell you my strategy, how to measure mixed foods, as well as my coaching philosophy. So I like to term it as like learn to fly. I want to give my challengers the tools to not just learn how to figure out container counts on their own, but work towards a sustainable lifestyle system. So instead of holding your hand all the way through your weight loss journey, I want to teach you to fly. So as a coach, this means I'm teaching you to listen to your body's cues, the effects of macronutrients and how to select the best foods for you, whether you're on 21-day the food list or not. Keep in mind that it is a lifestyle. 21-day fix does an incredible job of teaching you the basics of clean eating, but you still also have to live a little. So I'm not saying you're going to cheat a lot with your containers, but you need to be able to eat the foods that you like to eat. Because if you don't, if you won't see results, but you'd rather just get worked up if you eat something, then it isn't on the list, and you don't nail the exact container, it's all right. Part of learning how to live within the parameters of clean eating long term is a valuable lesson as well. So serving sizes is one of the reasons that I don't like to list container counts on all my recipes. It's simply because the serving size varies according to how much of it you eat. So it might sound like a no-brainer. So let me explain. I'm a big proponent of eating according to your body's cues, right? So if I'm hungry, I may eat more than when I'm not. So some lunches I may eat half a green container. Other days I might eat 2.5. If I tell you a serving size is 1 green container and that doesn't fill you up, I've done you a disservice. Or conversely, the same principle applies if you're eating more than you need. So I want my challengers to listen to their bodies, okay? I tell them to eat when they're hungry and stop when they're satisfied. For me, learning to do this in my not even in my 20s, I would say now in my 30s, has helped me to gain control over my eating habits, okay? I was not very diligent in enforcing the eating every 2 to 3 hours because for me, small meals and frequently backfired on me. I felt like I was more hungry, just constantly thinking about food. When was I going to eat? When was I going to eat? So instead, I'd rather just eat when I'm hungry, eat a large quantity, but know that it's within what I'm supposed to be eating, and then I'm happy. Another thing is, a lot of the questions are actually covered in the 21-day fix eating plan book. It's like my food Bible, right? And a lot of times we don't read it from cover to cover before we start. We just get excited and we just jump right in. So eventually all the information inside will become second nature to you, but I always recommend you read it first so you know what information is already there. I refer back to mine frequently. I'm not sure how to count things. There's a key on pages 70 to 71 for you to understand how to measure mixed foods, that things are not on the list. That's a great guideline that was that I have that was derived from those pages. So I've got about 6 pointers. So if possible, measure your foods in the containers before you mix and or combine them. So if you're making a salad, for example, make sure you measure the greens in your green container, your seeds in the orange, dressing as teaspoons, and so on. Divide the total container count by the number of servings your dish is supposed to serve. It's the easiest, most accurate way to count mixed foods. Another one, according to the 21-Day Fix Mixed Food Guide, most mixed foods are measured in the green container, regardless of whether or not it contains any green foods. This equals 1 serving. However, this is only used to measure, okay? Does not necessarily mean you check off the green container. It just means that was you had a serving. Make note of the different types of foods your mixed food contains, whether it's red, blue, and so on. If your mixed foods contain flour, grain, or starchy foods, such as pasta or bread, you're going to count that as 2 yellows instead of 1 right off the bat. You're going to use your mixed food and container counts listed on page 71 as your reference, and if what you're eating contains similar food groups, then you're going to cross off corresponding containers. Sort of a given. And the last one, it is acceptable to check off half or a third of a container on your tally sheet. I use an app, and that's okay. You don't have to eat a full one. Other tools that I use, I highly recommend, it's called Food Ukate app, and it's a great tool for analyzing nutrition, but it also makes it easy to judge food's healthy quotient by giving it a letter grade from A to F. There's also, I believe it's just on the iPhone, a 21-day fix tracker. It's amazing. It's literally set up by Beachbody, so you can set in your weight and put all your before measurements, and it automatically tells you your containers, and as you go through your meals you can start tallying them off. Feel free to cheat. Not sticking to the plan 100% is not necessarily a bad thing. I go ahead with the 80-20 rule. If your body's craving protein, you can and should eat that extra red container. Whether a turnip or a beet is a yellow or green doesn't really matter. Eat it. It's good for you. Now, it's when we're eating, majority of yellow containers, we've had no greens, that's where we have an issue. So, in my opinion, there should not be a limit on greens, because the first thing I'd advise dropping to get over a plateau is a yellow. But if you're stuffed every day and not dropping weight, go down a calorie bracket. Knowing when and how to shake up your plan is a good thing. My point is this: your body intuitively knows what it needs. Listen to it. There's a reason why your body is signaling these things to you. Last and final is use common sense. Keep in mind, success with this program does not always mean you follow it to a T. Sometimes, you use it as a guideline to relearn your healthy habits and instill a lifelong change to make it a lifestyle, right? I would rather have you learn about foods and nutrition and experiment on your own and follow the 80-20 rule, right? 80% of the time I'm on point, and 20% not really winging it, but I'm definitely adding a few more frills into my meal plan. It's much easier to figure out and to maintain a long-term diet, and then you won't actually feel like it's a diet. So I will end it on this. So hope you have a great time, and I hope that you have been able to learn a little bit more on how to count for mixed foods on your 21-day fixed meal plan. Goodbye.